Have you ever wondered why the Major Arcana feels so different from the rest of the tarot? The Minor Arcana can tell us what's happening in our everyday lives. The court cards can show us who we are and the stage of maturity that we are bringing to a situation. But the Major Arcana goes somewhere deeper. It shows us the journey of becoming who we were meant to be. And in today's video, we're going to begin that journey with cards 0 through 6. The Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, and the Lovers. 7 cards. But before we get started, there is an old story in tarot that's called The Fool's Journey that I want to tell you about. It's the story of this journey that encompasses 22 cards of the Major Arcana at once, and it requires some memorizing. And you can learn the story, that too, along with this one, but I think this one is enough. My method is different. It's easier. It's based on a progressive story that you're already familiar with. And another way it differs is that I don't think that it's the fool who's making the journey. It's us. It's our spiritual journey. We will use the progressive story that you may already recognize because it was in my last video. But you see, the Major Arcana, as I teach it, is the soul's journey through the developmental energies of the court cards. I use the court card model. See, if you did not see the video, I will put the link in the description box so that you can become familiar with the court card progression stories. And these are the stories that I use in the Major Arcana videos because I think you're already familiar with them. So the first 7 cards in the video, in video 1, will be the Page who grows into the Knight. And the second video, 7 cards, will be the Knight that matures into the Queen. And in the third video, it will be the Queen becomes the King. 4 phases, 3 videos. Remember, it's not earthly growth that's done through the Major Arcana. That's done through the court cards. No, this is spiritual growth. This is the level of spiritual maturity brought to the tarot card spread that helps you understand the spread. The Major Arcana is a message from the universe. When they message you, you want to listen. And by the end of the third video, you will know the story of their journeys, and through their journeys, you will know the cards. So this isn't just the Fool's journey. It's the journey of becoming who you are meant to be. Let me show you. Once there was a page who started his spiritual journey, and to the outside world he looked like a fool. He looked foolish because he trusted the unknown. He sensed within him a spiritual awakening wanting to rise. As his soul began to awaken, he stepped into the unknown with faith instead of fear. He believed that life was unfolding exactly as it should be. He was led to his first lesson about his inner power. On his path, the Page encountered the Magician. Here he learned that everything he needed for his spiritual journey already existed within him. He discovered he could consciously create his life and his experiences. When the Magician saw the Page's interest in learning more about his inner self, he led him to the High Priestess. With the High Priestess, the Page learned he had an inner voice and an inner knowing. He learned that if he became quiet enough, he could hear deep wisdom that had always been speaking to him from within, and always would be. The High Priestess was his inner guidance system. She lovingly led him to the Empress. With the loving Empress, the Page learns to nurture life. She held him to her bosom like a mother and taught him to love himself and to love the world. She guided him to create, to give, and to receive. She learned to allow abundance to flow naturally through him. But the Empress could see the Page needed more than just love. He also needed self-discipline. So she introduced him to the Emperor. With the Emperor, The young page learned to build a strong foundation. The emperor was like a father to him. With the emperor, the page learned discipline, responsibility, stability, and he experienced wise leadership. But like a father, the emperor decided he needed structure. So the emperor brought the page before the Hierophant. The page was glad to meet the Hierophant. He wanted to learn higher wisdom. While with the Hierophant, the page experimented with many structures that promised higher wisdom, like religion, science, law, politics, and tradition. But what he mostly found was rigidity. He felt torn between the Hierophant's rigid teachings and his need to know himself. "Who am I?" he asked his teacher, but he did not get an answer. That's when the page met the lovers. He learned about relationships. He learned to love his friends, and he could not apply what he had learned about the rigidity and the rules of society that he had learned from the Hierophant to how he felt about his friends. He wanted to align his values, like the magician and the high priestess and the empress and the lovers had taught him. Well, he could not choose. He wanted both the higher wisdom and the rules of society that he had learned from the Hierophant, along with the inner wisdom, patience, and understanding that he had learned from his friends. He couldn't decide, so he kept both.
If you want to know what happens to the page, tune in for the second video as the page grows up to become the knight. Remember, we're not trying to memorize these cards. We're watching the journey, and we will know the cards through the journeys. Also remember, the Major Arcana isn't just telling us what is happening in our lives. It's showing us who we are becoming through what happens to us. I have a free PDF download I'm giving away. It's like a cheat sheet about the court cards. Email me if you want a copy, and I'll send it to you. Also, my offer still stands. If you want a free reading, email me, and we can feature your spread in our next series of videos after the majors, which will focus on spreads and positions. Also, please comment below. I read and answer all comments. I would love to hear from you, especially to know if the lessons are resonating with you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will enthusiastically answer them, if they're appropriate. So keep in mind, I'm married. Be nice, and also like and subscribe. That matters a lot to the channel. It helps us. I'll see you at the next video about the journey of becoming.